Hi you guys, it's Tia Megan and welcome to Monday's story time. Now remember last week I didn't have you vote on books, and do you know why? Because all the books that got voted for this year have not been read yet. So until the end of the year, I'm going to be reading books that we didn't get to. And the first one I'm starting with is my big book of the outdoors. And I'm starting here because the weather is kind of getting nice enough to go outside a little bit more, isn't it? This is a very, very old book. The pictures are by Eloise Wilkins, who's one of my favorite artists. And she's one of the first artists to do portraits of African American children, of Native American children. Long time ago when people were like, you can't put kids of color in books. But she said, oh yes, I can. So the book is written by Jane Werner Watson. And like I said, the pictures are by Eloise Wilkins. And it was first published in 1958. And look at those pictures that she can draw. I only wish I could draw pictures like that. All right, I will read the words and then I will show you the pictures. Here we go. Did you know that did you know that the woods can tell that spring is coming before the snow is gone? The sleeping plants send up green shoots and the tree buds swell and open. Oh, there's animals hidden throughout this whole picture. How many animals do you see? Well, it looks like she found some plants growing and the little rabbits are hiding. All right. Did you know that some seeds have wings? Maples, elms, ash, milkweed, and some have tiny silken parachutes, dandelions, and some seeds are hidden away in fruit, like in apples, corn, beans, and that every seed, no matter how tiny, has a whole tiny plant inside with food to use to grow when it starts to grow. All right, I'm going to show you these. And I'll tell you what they are. This is a maple, ash, oh, I'm sorry, elm. Here's ash. There's the milkweed. We know dandelions, don't we? And inside apples are seeds. And beans have seeds. And here's some other little seeds here. And did you know that if you keep the apple seeds from your apple and you try to plant them, you might get an apple tree? All right. Did you know that tiny coral animals under the sea, which never move, build big towers and islands of their tiny shells? Oh my goodness, there's so many things under the water that this little boy is looking at. I'll show you the picture and then I'll go through what each thing is. All right, we're gonna start here. That red, that's king coral. This little blue one is called leaf coral. This one that looks like a rock, it's called star coral, because if you look, it looks like it's got little stars all over it. These big purple ones here is called purple rod. Now this one here is called madrepore. Not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, madrepore. This one is a brain coral. And last but not least, these right here are called organ pipe coral. And they do look like pipes that you could play a tune on, don't they? Did you know that in the dry desert, some plants have thick stems in which they store water? And lots of prickly spines to keep thirsty animals from eating them up? And did you know that the kangaroo rat who lives in the desert never drinks any water, but makes it in its body of crisp, dry seeds. So a lot of desert animals eat seeds to get water, but here's those big plants, the cactuses. There's those kangaroo mice. Do you see them? They must hop like kangaroos. I also see an owl there. And it looks like they live in the ground, those kangaroo mice. We don't live in the desert. I don't know a lot about it. Seems like a very interesting habitat, though. Did you know that the beaver can chew through a young tree in just a few minutes? He bites off the branches and uses them to build a dam across the stream. And all the birds around, and the squirrels and opossums, the rabbits and the chipmunks, the deer and the moose enjoy that beaver pond. Oh my goodness. So, if you look, there's a lot of animals, but here's the beaver, and there's the beaver's mate, and they're making this dam. And look at all these animals enjoying the pond that it creates. How many animals do you see on this page? Oop, I can't skip a page. Here we go. Did you know that far up north in a land of ice and snow that we call the Arctic, animals have winter coats of fur as white as snow? So when it's warm there, the animals have normal fur colors, don't they? Browns and golds. But when winter comes, what color do they turn? Their coats turn white. I'm glad that all those kids are bundled up and that they have a nice warm igloo to go into. Did you know that some birds fly thousands of miles over ocean and land and then come back to the same special spots to lay their eggs? And that salmon swim hundreds of miles to shore and far up the rivers and over waterfalls. That's right, they go against the current to come back to their special spots to lay their eggs. Wow, animals are amazing. So birds fly a long way in the winter but come back in the spring to lay their eggs. And the same happens with the salmon fish. They battle against the current of the water to go spawn their eggs in a special spot. Animals are amazing. Did you know that fireflies have lights in their bodies they can flash on and off? I did. They're one of my favorite insects. And that crickets chirp by rubbing their wings and legs together. And did you know that some fish in the deep, dark ocean have little lights along their sides or dangling from in front of their nose? And they go over what kind of fish there are. But first, let's look for the fireflies and the crickets. And you look at those fish, and I'm going to tell you what they are. Although it's very hard to see these fish because they live so deep in the sea. It's called bioluminescence. This one here is called a lanternfish. Can you tell why? His eyes are like flashlights. And here is an anglerfish, and this is a firefly fish. They live very, very deep in the ocean. I have a whole book about bioluminescent animals. It's quite interesting. Did you know that out in the pond, smooth, wiggly tadpoles lose their tails and grow legs? And then they turn into frogs? That's amazing. And did you know that fuzzy caterpillars weave silken cocoons around themselves and go to sleep? And then wake up as pretty moths or butterflies? First, let's go over the frog one. Well, you look at both pictures, but I'll explain. The frog started its eggs, and then they turn into tadpoles. And then they grow some legs, and then all their tail falls off, and they turn into a frog. And that caterpillars make a cocoon and can turn into a moth or a butterfly. And did you know that all of nature's wonders are everywhere around you? In the big outdoors. Just gotta go outside. Oh, look it. What a beautiful place. Oh, there's a lighthouse way back there. They must be by the ocean or one of the Great Lakes. And that's the end of this old book. We finally read my big book of the outdoors. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll have to see what's next week. But don't worry, there's something for you to do in the template. All right, have fun, and I'll see you later next week for more Monday's story time. See you later. Bye-bye.